Okay, welcome everyone. Uh, my name is Kevin Falk. For those who do not know me, I'm the eighth grade counselor at Jardine, and the reason for this presentation is to go over high school level classes that your student will have an opportunity to
Are you there?
take. So we'll go ahead and I'll share my screen. Okay, so basically we have high school, eighth grade parent in, enrollment info. So when we talk about high school classes, we talk about high school enrollment. This is the first step to get that information to each one of you. High school credit classes. Many eighth graders will have an opportunity to take these classes for high school credit. The reason they may not is if they take band or they take orchestra, or they take choir, then they have a choice of what classes to take opposite that. But a lot of you will get an opportunity to take, one or multiple of these classes. The first one is in the fall, and that is career and life planning. That is offered in the fall semester, as I said, and it is giving you zero point 0.5 high school credit toward graduation. So any class you take in high school, you get zero point 0.5 credits toward graduation. Graduation is requirement is 24 credits to graduate. So they'll be getting a head start on this. In the spring semester, and the career and life planning is through the FACS department, Family and Consumer Science. Integrated computer applications and design are both semester classes as well, and they are offered in the spring. So they could take both of those. Obviously, if they're in another class, then they'd have to get rid of one of these. But it kind of just depends on the student and what classes, other classes they are taking. But you would get 0 0.5 credits for each one of those classes. And then we have a year-long class, which is algebra, that's offered to students that qualify, and that is 0 0.5 high school credit per semester. So if they passed both, if they qualified and they're in algebra, then they would technically be, if they pass both semesters, they would get 1 credit toward graduation. So a student that took all of these could technically get 2.5 credits toward graduation, which would be a huge head start. Okay, so again, with the high school credits, they will be listed on their high school transcripts, and I'm having a visit with students in their career and life planning class today. Those that are enrolled in that class talking about this, but they need to understand that those classes, those grades on a transcript do not go away. So courses and grades that they get right now in the middle school are still, because they are high school classes, they will count toward a kid's cumulative GPA in high school. So if they get an A, they start out with a 4.0 GPA in high school. If they get a D, then they start out with a 1.0 GPA in high school. And the high school transcript, that is anything that post-secondary institutions can see how they did in some classes, and this would be a baseline class, um, a beginner class into other areas. So the goal of is to start kids out ahead, students out ahead, to where they can go ahead and start getting high school credit toward graduation, start getting those classes done that can be prerequisites into other classes that may require these classes to be taken. So it's good for them to take the class, not only for the high school credit, but if they decide that they have an interest in this area after taking these classes in the middle school, then they can continue on in those pathways in their high school career. It is important to note, and this was mentioned this week for students attending career and life planning, that if you wish for your student to opt out, then I need an email by the end of the second week of the semester, which would be Friday, September 25th, the end of this week. So if you opt out, every kid is opted in right now. Every kid is right now getting a uh, high school credit, and they are receiving a grade that would be attached to their high school transcript. If you opt out of this class, what that means is that you are not wanting high school credit at all. You would then, I mean, every student is still going to get the same material presented to them, the same high school rigor when it comes to instruction, but they're on their grade card, it's just going to be listed as Facts 8, and they are not going to have the opportunity to get that 0.5 credit. Students are not able to opt out past this week, so a decision needs to be made. Hoping that most kids go ahead and take advantage of this opportunity and stay into it for high school credit. If you are wanting your student to get high school credit for this, then you do not need to do anything at this point. Now, if your student is struggling in this class, then I would suggest going and contacting through the teacher, through me, have discussions about it, about the no credit policy. We do have forms that need to be filled out by that, and they're due by the sixth week of the course, which would be by October 23rd. That form needs to be filled out. So if your student is struggling, they are getting a D. You do not want them to start out high school with a 1.0 GPA. You do not want a D on their transcript for career and life planning, for example. Then you need to explore this option. This would then go on their transcript as credit, no credit. As long as they pass, then it will say credit on their transcript. Obviously, if they fail, it will say no credit, and they will know that they failed. However, it will also not affect their GPA. So when it comes to GPA, it will not be calculated into the student's high school cumulative GPA. However, they will still get the 0.5 credit as long as they pass the class. Okay, so a little bit of information about what we do here at the middle school level. It's collaborative effort between families, high school, and middle schools preparing your student for high school enrollment. We are doing personal career development assessments, interest assessments, skills assessment, learning styles assessments to get the kids to start thinking about possible careers, think about possible classes that would benefit them in the long run when it goes to picking classes for high school. And we are in a new computer program that is Naviance that we are going to be using for those assessments. So the students will get introduced to that program this year. Students will also build a 5-year plan in middle school. I will be going into the classes, talking to the kids about not only what they want to take as a freshman, but we create a 4-year plan throughout high school. And the 5th year of the 5-year plan is 1 year of post-secondary, what they're planning on doing that year after high school, whether that's college, whether that's technical school, whether that's an internship, an apprenticeship, and straight into the workforce. We create that 1 year after high school. High school counselors meet with the middle school counselors in December. We talk about information regarding high school enrollment, maybe the classes that will be offered at each high school that we can then present to the students. So then we meet with the students and they get to select their courses for that upcoming school year. High school counselors then meet with the middle school students regarding their course requests that they made. They'll do that usually in February. And high school course requests are reviewed and approved by the parents during the February conferences. So we have all this decided with the kid, with the high school counselor, but it does not mean that it's a done deal. We can then review it and revise it during those conferences. So we include parents in on the decision making there. And then we are used to having high school tours for the students. They go to the school that they are assigned to at that point in May. So you can see not only is the middle school involved in this, but we include the high school in this as well as parents. So it's, again, a collaborative effort with everybody. Okay, so that is the quick presentation. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, Mr. Falk, and I will be willing to answer all of your questions. Thank you.